Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this look. If you're interested, please keep on watching. First thing I did is I primed my eyes using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Sorry if you hear a little bit of noise, my cat just is not leaving me alone today. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes. I take it just a little bit on my finger. This is probably enough for both eyes. So I apologize. This is the first time I'm actually filming a tutorial. So I have to look back into my palette and my mirror. So please bear with me until I have this all figured out for next time. I don't feel like I need to use a brush for my primer. Some people prefer that. It's definitely harder to prime my eyes with long nails, but just tap the eyeshadow primer all over the lid. Okay, next eye. Here we go. First thing, first shade that I'm gonna go into in this palette is gonna be this matte shade right here, and that is the shade Limit. I am using a BH Cosmetics fluffy blender brush. I think it's number 12. I don't know if it has a different name or anything like that, but I really like this one. It's very big. It's perfect for the crease area. I kind of have a big space in between my eyes and my eyebrows, so this brush is really good for me. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that shade Limit on my brush, maybe a lot. Tap the axis, and then I'm gonna go into the crease. I start with the outside portion and then I move inside towards the inner corner. So back and forth, back and forth. One thing that I do like to do, and you don't have to do that, or if you're not comfortable with that, I like to make my eyes look a little bigger, a little bit more, I guess, almond shape. So I do go out quite a bit from my, I do go out in this area. I don't stop like right here. I might go out, and then later on when I do my concealer, which I do after I do my eyes, I will go ahead and clean that up, which you'll see a little bit later. I'm gonna pick up some more of that shade. Again, back and forth, back and forth. All right, it's looking quite blended. It's not a whole lot of difference between the two eyes, and I like to start off with a shade that's pretty similar to my skin tone, or that goes pretty well with my skin tone. It makes building easier, the eye look more put together. I'm gonna do the same thing on the next eye. So again, if you notice, I'm going pretty way out here, a little bit past my eyebrow, but that's gonna be all cleaned up a little later. Ooh, the lighting is not working right now. Here we go. Sorry, I don't know how bad it was earlier, but I'm gonna keep on going. I picked up a little bit more of that shade, and then again, ooh, back and forth. You can see my cat in the background. I don't know why the lighting is just going in and out today. Sorry if it was like that earlier, I just noticed it. There we go again. Maybe I have to keep moving. Okay, now both eyes are looking pretty similar to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to a different shade. And the next shade that I'm gonna go in is gonna be the next matte shade in the palette, which is this one, and that's called Mooner. Again, with the same brush, I'm not gonna change brushes at this point. I'm gonna pick up some of that shade and then go on top of where I put Limit. Same thing, just making it darker. Okay, hopefully my lighting keeps stays well, doesn't go crazy again. Try to pay more attention to that. Just one thing that I want to say, I really am not a makeup artist. I do wear smoky eye to work. I do work in an office. I do keep my smoky eye like neutral colors like this. I'm not gonna go in with a black color to work or anything like that. So something like this is very work appropriate for me. At least in my opinion. Some people might disagree, but you do what you like to do. So again, I'm not a makeup artist. I do what I like to do with my eye look. This is what I usually wear, and this is what usually works for me. Oh, I really have to keep moving with my light. I'm sorry about that, guys. Try to figure that out for next time. So far, if you can see, like, the eyes look the same, I guess. Or to me, they look the same. This might be a little bit higher than this is, so I'm gonna go ahead and not picking anything up on my brush. I'm just blending in a little bit more. A little later, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up like this part of the eye and a little bit in the inner corner. So it might look a little too blown out for now, but I promise it'll all look good at the end. When I usually do my makeup in the morning, I think my eyes take me the longest time. I blend and blend and blend my eyeshadows. I think that's the way that I end up getting the most seamless eye look. So just keep blending. Sorry, I need a little bit coffee break. Okay, so now that my crease shades are in, I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyelid. One thing that you can do is if you do have a cream eyeliner, cream eyeshadow, something that you want to use up and that would complement any of these colors, go ahead and do that as an eye base. For this tutorial, for this video, I'm not gonna do that because the one color that I do have, it's pretty old. It's by Tarte and it's one of their like smolder eye crayon thing. I don't think Tarte sells that anymore and it's getting a little dry, so it's probably time for me to throw it out. So what I would suggest you do if you want to get the most pay for your, the most color payoff is, again, either go in with a cream eye base or eyeliner or anything that you can put as a base and then build on with it with one of these colors. I'm going to use one of these colors for my eyelid. Or you can go ahead and use a glitter primer. I know we're not going in with any glitter colors, but using a glitter primer, it's kind of like glue for your eyeshadow. It'll stick. You'll get the most payoff. I'm not gonna do that for this, but just a suggestion, if you feel like you're not getting the most color payoff, try one of those tricks. I am gonna go in with, let's see, let's do Mugshot. This shade right here, the third from the last shade. I'm using a Bella Pierre Cosmetics brush. It's eyeshadow brush number 35. I think I got this in like a kit or something. I definitely did not purchase this myself, but if you can see, the brush is made for picking up quite a bit of color. So I'm gonna go in with that shade again. It's Mugshot. Pick up quite a bit of shade, quite a bit of eyeshadow on that brush, and then I'm gonna tap it on my eyelid. Tap, 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 tap. I'm gonna go all over the lid. See, it's not the most color payoff, but that's okay because we are gonna go in with a darker shade on top of that. Or you can wet your brush after you pick up the color. I usually use like a Mario Badescu, like those spray, the cucumber aloe one, I think it's the one I've been using. So again, pick up more color. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. It might not look perfect at this point, but we are gonna do a little bit more blending later, which will help. I do have some color, what is it called? Like transfer, some eyeshadow, what is it called? Like a little bit here, but it's okay. I'm gonna clean that up before I put in my foundation and my concealer. Next eye, same color, mugshot. Tap, 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 tap. Lighting is not very good. I'm sorry about that. I am using a ring light, which I'm still kind of feel like every time I look at it, I feel like I'm looking at the sun, so I kind of like squint. Yeah, probably just me. Again, make sure that both eyes kind of looking the same. I am looking at my mirror down here. Sorry if the lighting is going in and out, guys. Um, I don't know if it's my phone just not focusing and making the lighting like that or what. Okay, so both eyes are looking kind of how I would want them to look. I am gonna move on to a new shade, and this time I'm gonna use the shade, I am gonna use the brush that comes in the Naked 3 palette, and I'm gonna use the fluffy side of it. I am gonna use Dark Side, which is the last, the one before the last shade in the palette. Just a confession, I think I've used this shade maybe like 3 or 4 times. I don't know why. It's not a shade that screams to me, but we're gonna make it work. So I took some of that shade on that fluffy brush from the Naked 3 palette. And for this one, I'm gonna go in like this part of my eye, the outer V of my eye. I'm gonna start in this part, and then I'm gonna bring it in and then out more. So I wanna try that, do a cat eye, almond shape eye, just using this shade. So start out with the outer V, then bring it in, blend it over that shade that we just used before this, which was Mugshot. So blend it in this part, like the most crease. Again, pick up as much color as you feel needed. Start with the outer V. Wherever you place your brush, the first place you place your brush is the most color payoff. So right this part is gonna be the most pigmented for me because that's where I put my brush first. So again, outer V, pull it out, and then in. Back and forth, blending that shade, making that previous shade or the lid shade kind of blend in seamlessly with the crease. Do that again. Keep on blending until you feel like all the color just smoothly blends into one another. I have never attempted a cut crease look. Probably would never see me wearing a cut crease look. I'm not that talented. Ooh, color was just awful right there. Promise it looks really good. So again, outer V and then out. Sweep it out. Then in. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the other eye. Pick up Dark Side, and then place it right on the outer V, this part, and then start blending in and then out. Okay, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more so it matches the other eye. This video, I have a feeling that this video is gonna be very long, and usually, like I said, it takes me the most time when I do my eyeshadow when I'm getting ready in the morning. I don't know why some people can just fly with their eyeshadow and finish it in like 10 minutes. Feel like I probably take 30 minutes to do my eyes. Okay, now that things are looking very crazy, maybe not. Here we go. So you can definitely see variation in color on both sides. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to that fluffy brush that I was using earlier, that BH Cosmetic fluffy brush, without picking anything up on it. This is not a clean brush. I just used this brush. So I am gonna blend the outer part, this outer part, in with the rest of the eyeshadow that I put in before. That's just to make things look very seamless, very blended together. So go in, blend as much as you can. It's a very gloomy day. It's the first rainy day we've got here in, well, I think it's the most like real rainy day we've gotten here in Southern California. It's like a perfect day to be filming, but the lighting is just, I'm relying mainly on my ring light. There's no natural light. It's very dark outside, although it's like 8 in the morning for me. So I'm sorry again if the lighting was in and out in this video. I don't know. I will be transitioning to using my camera pretty soon instead of using my phone to film. Hopefully that will help with the lighting and the quality of the picture. I mean, it should, but I'm not very comfortable using the camera yet. It's a lot easier using my phone. So, blending as much as possible. Here's where we're at right now, a little close up. I do have fallout. That's what it's called, fallout. So I will be cleaning that up, and then I'm gonna move into the bottom part of the eye. I'm not done with the top, but I'm gonna move on to the bottom section of the eye look. Okay, making sure everything's very well blended. Okay, I'll clean up, put on my foundation, my concealer, and I will be right back to finish up the eye look. Just bear with me. Hi, so I am back. I decided maybe I'll film this portion of my putting on my face. Whether or not it's going to be included in the video, I'm not sure. I'm already moisturized. I put my moisturizer on already, so I'm going to go in with my primer, and I'm using my Spackle Hydrating Moisturizing Under Makeup Primer by Laura Geller. This is in my project pan, 18 in 2018. So I'm gonna take a small amount of that. This part of my nose, I usually have the most creasing, like towards the end of the day where my makeup sits or my foundation sits. So, or in like this part of my chin, that crease in my chin, definitely need to prime that. All right, let that sit for a minute or so, and then I'm gonna go in with my foundation. Again, I'm gonna try to use all the products, or I will be using all the products that are in my 18 in 2018 project. So I'm going in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this is in the shade Light Beige. It's so hard to know where you are in this foundation. Like, I have no idea how much I have left. I think it's quite a bit. It's very heavy. But the glasses bottle. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna start with one pump, apply it, spread it out a little, and then I'm gonna use my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I think it's what it's called. Want to forget your neck. Okay. I might need a little tiny bit more, so a little tiny bit more foundation. I do like this foundation. I feel like it gives a very nice natural coverage. It's not very full coverage, and it's not it's very natural. The finish is very natural. I am gonna go in with about half a pump in more. I feel like I need it in this area. Again, here where I've had some acne scars. Again, I keep looking down because my mirror is down in my hand. Okay, blend it in. When you guys do your makeup, do you do your eyes first or do you do your face first? I'm always curious. I feel like I work in a funny combination. Like I did top part of my eyes. I'm doing my foundation and concealer, and then I go back to my eyes, and then I go back to my face. I'm always interested. I guess I need to have a better system. Okay, now my foundation is down. I have normal skin, so I don't feel like I need to set all of my face. But once I go in with my concealer, I will need to set that. So my concealer, I'm gonna use Too Faced Born This Way concealer in light medium. Okay, a little bit under my eye. This is gonna help me clean out my that part of my eyeshadow. So let's go in with this. I do have problem right here. I'm not gonna use too much of this concealer, and I'm gonna go with again, it's Real Techniques, the little sponge. So blend that out. So when I do clean my eyeshadow, okay, let's get back to real light. When I do clean out my eyeshadow, I like to go up, so that way you do get that lifted eye look. Your eye looks bigger, looks lifted. You don't want all that shadow down here because you don't want it looking down or drooping down your eye. You want your eye to look open and up wide. So again, let me show you what I mean. So up, okay, lighting. Okay, there we go. So you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. The shadow is very down here. This is more up and lifted. I do need to look down to my mirror and see what I'm doing. Brighten up the inner corner of the eye. Oh man, I'm so sorry for this lighting issue. Okay, next eye. Again, want it cleaned upwards. We are going to go ahead and put shadow on the lower lash line, but by doing this, lifting the eye up, now I'll have a kind of like a guideline for how I want to apply the shadow underwards or underneath. Okay, clean it upward. Okay. Before I go ahead and set my under eye concealer, I am gonna use my Marc Jacobs Dewdrops as a highlighter. I feel like I need just a little tiny bit. It's not even like half a pump, barely less than that. So a little tiny dot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this product this year. I would have to use it every single day. I'm gonna apply that on the high points of my cheeks on both sides. I am gonna be blending it, and on this part of my temple. Now blend it with my finger a little. I do like to highlight my nose, so whatever is left on my finger, I'm gonna put it on my nose and on the upper part of my lip. So to blend that even more, I'm gonna go in with the same blending sponge, but I'm gonna use this flat side, and I'm gonna blend that on my cheek, on my temple, okay, the side, and my nose. that's looking pretty well blended. Now I'm gonna go in and set my concealer. To set my concealer, I'm gonna use my Laura Mercier loose powder, translucent powder. I will be using my e.l.f. small tapered brush. This, I know it's dirty. I only use this brush for setting my under eye concealer, and it's always the same powder, so it's not that big a deal. Before I do set my concealer, I want to make sure there are no wrinkles under my eyes, so I might go in a little bit, or I will go in a little bit with my blending sponge. I don't want to set any fine lines, so I want that to be smooth. And then I'm gonna go in with my setting powder. This part of my nose, because I do wear sunglasses when I'm driving to work, so I always have an issue with this part of my nose, so I am gonna set that part right here, and again the little crease under in my nose area. Pick up a little bit more of that translucent powder, same brush, tap it on the lid, tap the excess off on the lid, and then go in with the other eye. Owie, my lighting. Sorry, again, I don't know how many times. I am gonna set this part of my face. I'm not picking up any more products. Whatever is on my brush, I'm gonna use it, because I do get a little oily in my T-zone. Not too bad. All right, here we go. Next step. See, I know I work in funny ways doing my makeup. Next thing for me is I'm gonna go in with my inner rim eyeliner. Again, I'm using product that's in my project pan. I'm going in with my Too Faced Perfect Waterproof Eyeliner. Looks like I need to sharpen it real quick. No, I think I'm okay. Okay, here's the funny part. I know some people feel weird about putting stuff in their eyes. I don't have a problem with it. So I'm gonna try and pull the bottom part gently, and I'm gonna apply this in the inner, on the inner lash line, or and then on the top parts in the eye. So I'm gonna use my phone as a guide. Or sorry, I'll use my mirror. I think it's easier for me. So again, it might look very wonky. It's not very clean, but that's gonna be cleaned up. See the difference between this eye and this eye? It's already looking more sultry. It will be cleaned up with eyeshadow over it. So I'll do the same for the next eye. They do say that, you know, black eyeliner make your eyes look a little bit smaller. It's okay, no big deal. We'll make it bigger with eyeshadow. I just like the effect that the black eyeliner does. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it on the top. I don't know that I could do it here. I guess I could try. Hi. Here's my eyeball. Sorry, I had to say that. Okay, next eye. Okay. The one thing I have to say about this eyeliner is I don't know if I'm going to continue to use it. It transfers quite a bit on my... It doesn't transfer at the bottom lash line or anything like that, but it transfers on my contact lenses, and throughout the day, like, oh, I think there's like a black smudge on my contacts. So I might end up pulling that out of my project pan and then replacing it with a different eyeliner. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep on trying with this. So now that we have the black liner at the bottom, what I'm gonna go in with is that same brush, the shader brush, the Bella Pierre brush that I used earlier with the color Mugshot. I am gonna pick some of that color on here. Okay, tap the excess, and I'm gonna start with the outer part. Again, I don't want the most dark here, I want the most dark here. So I'm gonna go with the lower lash line and I'm gonna smudge. So again, I am using the mirror over here. So excuse me if I'm not looking straight at my phone or at the camera. Smudge that. So you do want, I mean, you're not totally smudging the black in the inner rim, but you are smudging whatever excess black was on your lash line. And then see the guide that I had made earlier with my concealer, I'm gonna follow that guide. So I'm gonna apply my eyeshadow going up. Okay. There we go. Next eye. It's important to tap the axis here because I already put my concealer on and I set my under eye, so I don't want to have to deal with more fallouts. So I am tapping the axis off my brush. Again, I'm gonna go in with the outward part. Start this way, pull it up, and then blend towards the inner part of the eye. Ooh, okay. Have you ever felt that when you use the Naked3 palettes, you always end up kind of with the same look? Okay, here we go. Here's the light again, Ken. Sorry. It feels like I always end up with the same sort of look. I mean, there's slight variation, of course, but if you don't end up using another palette, you end up sort of with the same look, which is no big deal, you know, but just something I've noticed. After we laid down that shade Mugshot, I am gonna go in with the one before the last color, which is Dark Side. The same thing that I use on top, I'm gonna use it on bottom. Again, I'm gonna start with the outer part, pull it up, and then in. Okay. Next eye, tap off the axis, outer part. I'm gonna pull it up. Come on. And then in. Okay, both eyes look the same. So now I'm gonna go in and clean the top part of my eye. Before I do that, I am gonna do my eyebrows. Please excuse me, I'm not very good at doing this, so I may lay down the color and then clean it back up again and again. I am using my Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I think I have the shade, it's soft brown. So I do have a lot of eyebrows, so I don't really need a lot of this product, but I do fill in this part of my eyebrows. Did I say eyelashes earlier? If I did, I mean eyebrows. So my internet has been out for about 2-3 days now. There's quite a bit of videos up on my feed that I do want to catch up on. Yeah, it's kind of nice because then I'm not watching any TV or anything, and I'm actually working on my inventory. But at the same time, I do like to have like some sort of noise in the background when I'm doing anything, working or anything. So it's been a little bit of both, a little bit rough and a little bit nice. So brushing that up, I feel like I need a little bit more color in this section right here. So I'm gonna go in again with that same, the other side of the pencil, filling it in, and then brush it up. Here we go. Eyebrows are done. probably the shortest eyebrow tutorial or putting on you've ever seen, but oh well. Okay, next thing is I'm gonna clean under my eyebrow. I'm gonna brighten that area. That way it'll also help me blend in my eyeshadow that I put in the crease. I am gonna go in, this brush is a little big for this, but we're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild brush. I think it's just like eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna go into my Naked palette. I'm gonna pick up this first shade in the palette, which is Strange. I'm gonna pick up quite a bit of that shade on my brush, tap whatever excess, and then clean up this part. I do start with the biggest blank space, which is here. Okay, clean it up, and then I move inwards. Okay, I need to pick up a little bit more of that shade. I am gonna clean up this part of my eye, the inner corner of my eye. So go in over here. Okay, I feel like I need a little bit more of that shade. Okay, here we go. Hope you can see the difference between the two eyes. This part of my eye is now cleaned up over here. This one still has the eyeshadow. I'm gonna do the same thing on the next eye. I feel like I'm gonna hit pan on this shade pretty darn soon. I don't know what I'm gonna replace it with. I might have to pull out one of my other palettes, like I think I have quite a nice it's not a transition shade, it's like, what is it, what kind of shade this is called, like underbrow shade. I might have to use my Too Faced like chocolate bar palette, or one of the Too Faced chocolate bars. Okay, again, I'm gonna go in this part of my eye, clean that up. Hello. All right, here we are. So by cleaning that up, and the way that we cleaned up the bottom part of the eyeshadow, I am trying to give my eye a very, like, I don't know, cat eye look without using black eyeliner. I'm not very good at applying black eyeliner on the top part, like a felt tip liner or like a liner brush or anything like that. So I tried to get that same effect using eyeshadow and cleaning up my eyeshadow. So you can see kind of comes up to a very sharp, not a very sharp V, but a V shape, and it does extend way outside of my eyebrow. This make your eyes look a lot bigger, more sultry. So I guess it's something I just learned by doing, or I like the way it looks on me, is what it is. Okay, after like cleaning up with that shade, I am gonna highlight under my brow. I am gonna use, there's no name to this brush. I think it came in like a 3 loose shadows that I bought from Bare Minerals. I think it came with them, or it might have came in like an Ulta, the Ulta palette that was kind of dupe for the Naked3. That has been decluttered, the brush stayed. So I am gonna pick up a little bit with that shade, a little bit of Dust, which is this pinky color, that brush. I do like to wet my brush, so after I picked up that shade, I'm gonna spray a little bit of that Mario Badescu thing that I was talking about earlier. This is like a little deluxe sample that I got after I purchased the big size. And again, I'm gonna go with the biggest part, the biggest gap, which is right here. I'm gonna lay that shade down, and then I bring in whatever excess is on the brush inwards. There we go. Do it again for the next eye. Again, picking up the same shade, which is Dust, that pinky shade. Wet my brush again. And then do the same thing. big gap, start over here. By doing this, I feel like gives my eyebrows a little bit more shape, makes them more lifted up. It's definitely not necessary, but I do plan on panning this palette. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to use whatever or all the shades that are in here. I did pick up a little bit more of that color on my brush again. I don't need to re-wet it again. I don't need it to be stark white, not white, pink or highlighted. So I'm gonna place that right in this inner corner. Gonna make my eye look a little bit more awake. You can see the difference a little bit. It's not very strong highlight in that part, but I do like the way that it ends up looking. So a little bit in this corner right here. There we go. All right, I think this is pretty much it for the eyes. You can take it a little bit step further if you want to use more shades. You can go in and layer something in the middle of your eyelid. Let's go ahead actually and do that. That would be kind of, I'm interested to see what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna take that shade Buzz, pick it up with that same brush that I was just using. Pick up Buzz. It's very flaky shade. Like all these shimmers in here are very flaky. And I'm just gonna tap that on the lower part of my eyelid just for a little bit more shimmer look. Okay, I think I like how that looks. Again, for the same brush, next eye, this part. All right. So that's it for the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my face and I'll be back. And that's it. Okay, so to do the rest of my face, I don't usually use any contour. I use bronzer. I contour with bronzer. I am gonna go in with my MAC bronzing powder. This is also in my project pan. I am using a Real Techniques. It's a big brush. It's actually a blush brush, but I use it for bronzer. So I'm gonna go in, pick some of that bronzer, tap the excess, and I'm gonna start on this side in the hollows of my cheek. Lay it down and blend. Whatever excess I have on the brush, I'm gonna go in and blend on my temple, the side of my temple. I know I'm going over that highlight that I placed earlier, this part, but that's okay, because we are gonna go in with a powder highlight in a little bit. Okay, same side, same thing, the other side, pick up some of that, and then go on the hollows of my cheek. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that bronzer and I'm gonna apply it to my jawline just to give my face a little bit of color, a little bit of dimension. Just a little tiny bit, blend it all over the jawline. Then I'm gonna take it onto my neck. Here we go. I'm gonna move on to my blush, and I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty, the Kilowatt highlighter, and this is in Ginger Binge and Moscow Mule. I am gonna go in, I'm guessing, so the side, oh, these are so hard to open. I'm gonna go in with the satiny side, which is the Ginger Binge. I am gonna pick that up with an e.l.f. angled blush brush. I'm gonna use the top part of the brush. So let's pick up a little bit of that color. See it on my brush. Ooh, that looks like quite a bit. Okay, tap the excess. Don't wanna have, and then start with this point and then upwards. You want your face to look up. You don't wanna look droopy. So upwards, blend. then go up. Okay, that's looking quite nice. Go in, same thing for the other cheek. Start at this point right here and upwards again. Now a lot of people really like matte products, like matte blush, matte bronzer. Never really got into that. I always like to be very glowy, very shimmery. I don't know, maybe it's just like the little girl inside of me. It's kind of like, oh, shimmer or glow, fish, I'm attracted. Again, you do whatever you like to do. There are no rules. Just what makes you feel most beautiful, what you think is compliments you, you just do it. I'm gonna go in the other shade in this little duo, and that's Moscow Mule. Same brush, I picked up a little bit, and I'm gonna top wherever I applied my blush. So same place that I'm gonna be putting my highlighter in a little bit, I'm gonna top that with it. Again, next side. And always go upwards. You want that lifted face effect. Okay. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna go in with is my highlighter. And I'm gonna use Real Techniques setting brush. I don't use this for setting, I use it for highlighting. So my highlighter is Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Champagne Pop. If I can open it. I am gonna pick up a bit of that color on my brush, tap off the excess, and then go in this section right here. Ooh. And then this part. I know it looks kind of crazy, but I'm gonna show you my trick in a little bit and how I make it all blend in seamlessly together. Next part, next section, next side, same thing, highlight, and then this part. I like to highlight my nose and my Cupid's bow. Okay, looks crazy. I look like I'm glowing from space, but that's okay. To make everything blend in together and look seamlessly, like blend in together, you don't want to see that sharp line between the highlighter and the blush, or the blush and the bronzer. So I am gonna go in with this big Flawless face brush from Bare Minerals. I'm gonna use my Hourglass ambient lighting, and this is in luminous light. I'm gonna use this brush, swirl it into that, and then start with the outer part of the face. Let me get the lighting correctly. Start with the outer part, so this part, buff that in. You want to do the same thing for the temple. Buff it in, and now you can buff it into the rest of this part of the face. There's not a whole lot left on the brush. This way you make your highlighter, your bronzer, your blush all blend in seamlessly together. Next side, same thing. Start with the high point of the cheek, buff it, and then take whatever left on the brush to the rest of the face. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on this because you don't want to move like your foundation and stuff. You're just slightly buffing, so seamlessly blending in all your powders. Okay, there we go. I think we look decent. I'm gonna go and put my lip color on, and then I'm gonna put my setting spray, and then the last step is doing my mascara. I don't use waterproof mascara, so if I apply my setting spray after I put my mascara, it can transfer. I do have pretty long lashes, so I don't want raccoon eyes. So lips, setting spray, mascara. For my lip color, I guess I had moved my Bare Minerals, that Juju color. I want to use it up. It's in my project pants. I did put it in my purse. Instead, I'm gonna use this little tiny little baby sample of, this is Julep, and this is like their mousse lip colors. This is in the color Bisou. I really like this. It's mauve-y and it's very complimenting for this eye look. So go ahead and put that on. My lips are feeling a little bit dry. I should have put a lip mask on last night. Sorry, I can't talk when I'm doing my lip color. I will be filming a lip service video, which is gonna include my all the lip products that I will be using in 2018. And one of them is the lip mask that I usually wear at least every other night. I would like to use that product up. So look out for that video. Ooh, that will be coming soon. Made a little bit of boo-boo, but that's okay. Clean it up. Here we go. To clean up that mess that I just did, I am gonna go in again with my highlighter. Don't need to use a brush or anything. I can just use my finger. I'm gonna go in with that highlighter, and then I'm gonna go over that problem I did. So okay, here we go. Next is setting spray, and then mascara. I'll be back when this look is over. Okay, after I put on my my lips, I put some setting spray on, and then I put on my mascara. I put down my hair. This is the final look. If you guys did enjoy this video, I know it was long and I had issues with the lighting. I'll try to work on that, but if you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to comment down below with any suggestions. If you have any recommendations for other Naked palettes, I have the original Naked and Naked Heat. I do not have the second Naked palette because of all the cool tones. I don't think they look very good on my skin tone. Please leave your suggestions down below, or your requests or anything like that. And again, I'm not a makeup artist. I just do what I love and what looks good on me, and what I think would look good on other people. So if you have any suggestions, or if you have any requests for other palettes, please leave them down below. I'll try to film those for you. Give this a big thumbs up, subscribe, and comment. I would love to connect with you. And I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.